I recently heard a phrase Neanderthal thinking and was struck with the awe and splendor and vividness of the lucid sound of writing, letters and noises from a president of the United States of America, Mr. Joe Biden. And again today read about forgotten names, memories, no longer there now. And have to live in this duality I speak of now, in these words, with this sound called a voice now. And unfortunately, there's other choices about time included in these discussions involving manhood, masculinity and hormones, dominance, and power shared with those female elders, brilliant, genius, intelligent participants in a system at war with the language they use, with an adversary and an enemy they declare racist now. A racist with the shaved head and a white skin. An ethnicity and a dialect, except for those who have rights to be Caucasian and white and declared as lesser equal and free to say whatever you want to cancel now on an object they also call Earth, in a conversation they also have about climate change and economics, technology, and all of the parts to a civilization. Used for the good of their families, their animals, their friends and colleagues, their professor acquaintances, their doctors who treat them in hospitals with gold and glitter. But not, worst of all, for the college graduate who wanted to be in the Navy and an officer and made a mistake not studying to build bombs and guided missiles to go shoot at Iraq and Iran and Afghanistan and over the water in the oceans now. And instead studied Iranian film and cinema and mentored and studied with a Tibetan shaman who taught me about risks and dangers of tribalism. And free money and services and promises and explanations and descriptions, and most of all, philosophies and theories. Those races wrote about a racist using a word they all share together as one, as a global togetherness with rights and dollars and cents, and Elon Musk driving a Tesla, and Jeff Bezos' wife getting remarried, and a coronavirus pandemic, and time slower than a tick and a sand of grass, repeating, in an hourglass. Those rich and famous no longer, nay, having their artificial intelligence, their AI algorithm, dog walking, pet watching robot take care of their little animal when they gotta go make some awareness and have the attention back to normal when the insanity stops from the loudness of concentration and focus, misdirected with the mathematics from quantum equilibrium mathematics. A quantum response equilibrium, much different than the game theory of the Mr. Presidents and now the Ms. Dominance. Men who have handed over what they have held, along with their Bibles, their guns, pistols and knives, in their vehicles they drove for years and years until now, when an echo goes silent and earth slowly dies from a destruction continuing, escalating, and then suddenly stopping now. Now. There's no place for someone who survives brain cancer, studies Tibetan Buddhism, and then does something stupid and says to the Navy recruiter, "Can we just ignore my Chinese Tibetan tattoos?" A Tibetan immigrant hand drew on my hands and my arms about Gandhi and "you must be the change you wish to see in the world." And more importantly, can you stop staring in the mirror and talking to a wall and whispering and voicing your concerns instead of speaking to my face and saying to the man who's not gender neutral, "You fear the wolf you see now," and claim there's a howl, and deny a freedom called the United States of America. Eventually, when the rockets stop exploding, sailors and military soldiers stop dying, there's going to be a man and a woman. There's going to be no more gender. And Earth will be observed on a video recorded on an internet website now. Your culture, your religion, and all of those dead bodies won't have children in schools. There'll be those redneck extremists in their bunkers and those rich, famous trillionaires on their islands on and over where the orcas no longer swim, where the salmon have died. And those same proud, diligent, and intelligent humans will then say again, build, engineer, protect, secure. And nobody will argue. Nobody will explain the duality causing the world to die and civilization to make more drugs than food, more chemicals in weed and mushrooms than businesses and no graffiti and broken windows now. And those who listen and those who keep track with their rap gangster thug cartel mystery won't say to the Punisher mask they take about their self and their ego. Their minds will control the weak, the frail, and the poor, whose suffering are exploited. And talked about in the news about some socialism, some communism, and all of those protests and those riots caused by those racists and a culture and an ethnicity of fascist problems currently solved violently, destructively. And as a novelty. To get a good test in a school, in a college, in a university, where those nurses line up to go serve in those hospitals and those doctors prepare for their patients now. Whose ears don't hear the ringing, the talking, laughing, cheering, and partying. Having drugs and techno-rave electronic music. Limits, restrictions, controls, and boundaries for the mood of a color in an emotion of behavior. Behavior. Too much behavior now. Now.